Hi guys, GameTalk Beşiktaş against Ajax 1-2. We pulled it at the end. Marc, you watched the game. You listen, before we start talking about the game, quickly. You are the ones on Twitter always, going on Ten Hag. He has to rotate, he has to rotate, he has to rotate. He listened to your prayers basically, so he rotated. How that worked out? Did you like what you saw today?
Yeah, I thought it was the right decision. First of all, I think we need all of these players the farther that we want to go in the Champions League and the farther that we want to go as it relates to the Eredivisie, which we've seen right now. We're not exactly running away with it. So we're going to need all these players. We're going to get more injuries. There's going to be suspensions like with Alvarez today. So we need to see, who is capable of playing at this level. And, to do that, these guys need minutes. And I think that this was the right time to do it. First place was basically secured. It would have taken a real miracle to lose it, but I think it was the right time to do it. I thought the players that he picked, aside from Klaassen playing in that deeper midfield role, I think we're all correct. Nico really needed minutes. Shores really needed minutes. Darami, Neres. So I thought it was the right choices. And I thought for the most part, almost all of them played pretty well. No real complaints. And I thought it was good to get them some Champions League experience. So I was very happy to see him do that.
Yeah, all right. That makes sense. Look, overall, what can you say about these type of games? It's crazy for us because usually we always play because we needed those points, in the Champions League. Every single year. Now we're already there. So Ten Hag said, in the press conference and also a couple of times that he's going to try out not only new players, but also, like players playing with each other differently, etc. For instance, one of the things you've been advocating, of course, striker role, Tadic. What do you think of today's performance?
Yeah, so I thought, like you said, it's hard to really judge these games. The players know themselves that this isn't, Borussia Dortmund at home a couple of weeks ago where you really need to win if you want to secure qualification. We know it's basically done. So mentally, it's hard to get in that frame of mind. But I think we showed a good element of professionalism today. I thought for the most part, we played pretty well. I think we were a little bit leaky at the back. I think Shores and Klaassen and Martinez, it's not the same as Martinez, Timber, and Alvarez. That sort of like connectivity between the three of them in mopping everything up wasn't exactly there. So we conceded a few more chances than we had previously, but that's okay. It'll happen. And I think going forward, we still looked very dynamic. I think we still could have scored a number of goals in the first half. If the finishing is just a little bit cleaner. Neres had a very good chance. Darami had a very good chance. Tadic had a very good chance. There was one when the ball came across and Berghaus basically missed it. And if he gets contact on it, he probably scores. And then I think in the second half with Haller coming in, had more of a focal point. So then when the crosses came into the box, there was more of a target to hit every single time. And I think because of that, that's where the goals kind of came from. And I think we could have scored a couple of more as well. So I think overall, if you were to rate the performance, it's maybe a 7 out of 10. And I think that's totally fine for a game like this. Away from home in Turkey, it's far away. We knew there was not a ton to play for. It felt almost like we were like Bayern Munich today, or Manchester City today, where they qualify with 2 games to go, but they still win the games. Absolutely. And it's not like we had to be perfect, but we got the job done, and you can't really complain too much about it, I don't think.
Yeah, no, you're right. We cannot judge too much on this game. I agree with you. I still want to highlight 4 players. I want you to give your opinion about them. I will start with also Darami. Darami, first basically starter, first time this season against Beşiktaş. I want your opinion also on Klaassen because I saw your ratings and you gave him a 3, which is harsh, I think, but you can explain why. I also want your opinion on Onana because that's a hot topic, of course. He got his chance back, coming back from the ban. He was your man of the match. Maybe you can explain that as well. And I also want you maybe to highlight Gravenberch because maybe, I know people know this, but he took the role from Alvarez, so he had to be very disciplined today. Maybe you want to mention this as well.
Yeah, I think there's a good 4 players to highlight. So Darami, I thought he did pretty well. He wasn't amazing. He wasn't bad. He had a couple of nice actions, I thought, where he showed the potential that we're excited about. He had a couple of nice dribbles. He had a nice play when he had, gets the ball very quickly onto his right foot, has a good shot, forces a good save out of the keeper. That's what you want from him. Was he perfect? No. It's tough for these guys when they haven't played a ton to kind of come in as a starter and really show the level that they're capable of. They need a couple of games to sort of get that momentum and that form. And I guess that confidence back really. But I think from Darami overall, 45 solid minutes, I think it showed at least that he can be a effective contributor off the bench in games where we need a spark. I think he has that level. I think we still need to see more of him. And hopefully in some of these games coming up in the Eredivisie, we start to see him get 60, 70 minutes so we can really see what we have. Because at this point, we don't totally know. He just hasn't really been given a great chance. Maybe that's because he's been a little underwhelming, maybe in training or something like that. But hopefully the ability is still there and he can build on some performances like this where he was good, not great, not amazing, but that's okay.
Yeah. The thing for me, for me, just quickly on Darami, that's my opinion. The thing that I like about him, even though not everything's successful, he's always bringing threat on that side. So he's trying and he's doing everything he can. He's not very conservative when he gets the ball. Yes. For me, that's important.
Totally agree with you. Totally. That's like, for me, anytime you see an attacker between the age of like 17 and 22, the first thing I'm looking for is like, are you positive on the ball? And does it look like you're trying to create things? It's not always going to happen, as you said, but at least he tries. And he seems very confident in himself to do that. So hopefully with more games, things will start coming off a little bit more. He still sort of looks like it's his first 2 or 3 weeks. Like he doesn't always totally seem like he knows what's really going on and how he wants to combine with the players. There was a moment at one point when you saw Tadic kind of motioning him to move like another way. And it seems like he's still sort of fitting in, and that's okay. As for Onana, I thought he was amazing. I truly thought he was great. He hasn't played, obviously he played for Cameroon, but he basically hasn't played in over a year. And he comes right in. He was super comfortable with his feet, didn't make a single mistake on the ball. He even had one play when the striker was coming at him and he cut him and he faked it and he got away from him. So very calm and composed on the ball as he typically was. And he made 2 to 3 really good saves, particularly the very clear 1v1 at the sort of back half of the first half. And then he had a very nice save as well on the Canadian striker when it actually takes a little deflection off of Lisandro Martinez as well. And he adjusts and makes a save. And for a goalkeeper who hasn't played in a year, what more can you ask for? He almost saved the penalty as well, guessed the right way. And I think it was very promising. And I get that fans are frustrated with the situation. I get it, but I think this is a special opportunity for this team to
do you have any feelings about this? Because you're saying the fans are like this. Are you that cold about this whole thing?
Look, I think I'm maybe more of a realist in this situation. That look, I'm not gonna hate on a player for wanting to do something that he thinks is best for himself. It is what it is. These guys are individuals. I think that all of us in our own lives do the same thing. And sometimes it appears selfish. Sometimes, it just might not give off the right sort of feeling to people around you. But I think particularly professionally in your own careers, sometimes you're going to make a decision. It might be difficult, but you think it's what's best for you. And Onana thinks it's what's best for him. And it's hard for me to criticize that.
Yeah, I understand. But do you understand also, apart from the fact, it's not even for me, if I'm talking about myself, it's not for me about the fact that he wants to leave on a free transfer. That's not the issue. It's what happened in between. So actually he was supposed to leave, then this whole ban came. Then he had the opportunity to leave in the summer. Ajax could have also get something out of it. He didn't leave. So there were a couple of opportunities, and this ban actually, it's a little bit like he misused his ban in a certain way. That's how it seems to fans, This is the situation, because he hurt us a lot, also Ajax in terms of transfer, et cetera, et cetera. And I understand from his perspective that he wants to leave because he's, I think, the only player, Klaassen came back, but he's the only player still from the Europa League final, from the Europa League Peter Bosz era. So I understand he wants to leave. He wants another adventure and stuff like that. But do you understand that the fans are upset more about that?
Yeah, I get it. Same thing. Like, trust me, when all this news has been coming out about how he has the opportunity to leave, he doesn't necessarily take it. I get it. I just find it difficult to really come at someone personally without truly knowing all the details. Yeah. And I don't think anyone really does. At the end of the day, we get little bits and pieces of information from Overmars and Ten Hag and Onana himself and the agents and everything like that. But we're not sitting there. We don't know how the conversations went. It seems like the best opportunity he had to leave was to go to Lyon. Maybe he had second doubts and he was like, is Lyon really a step up for me? Maybe he wanted to do it initially. He changed his mind. That happens. We all change our mind frequently. So that's my stance on this whole thing, is that, look, we don't really know the details. Does it suck in terms of the, potential financial benefit that we could gain as a club from Onana? Is it a little bit harsh, maybe considering, we really developed him as a player for these last 6 years or so? Yes. But at this point in time, for me, he's the best goalkeeper we have. I rate him incredibly highly. And if he eventually becomes a starting goalkeeper, which I think he should, and I hope that that's what happens after the winter break, I think we're better off for it. So I think we should respect Pasveer. He's done a phenomenal job. I think you play him all the way up through the winter break. And if at that point, Ten Hag is like, look, Onana is way too good, I think we play him from that point on. And hopefully then the fans, we can reconcile our feelings a little bit. Maybe we can make up and can go from there.
Yeah, probably after the Africa Cup as well.
True.
Yeah. Okay, so coming to the two players on the midfield. Your take, Klaassen and Gravenberch, I believe?
I'll start with Klaassen. I don't even think I need to talk about this too long. For me, Klaassen, when he plays as a deeper midfielder, he just doesn't have the skill set to pull it off. Not only offensively, but defensively as well. He's very, very slow. In transition, he's not a good defender. And we suffered multiple times because he was just unable to cover the ground. And in that position, it's so critical. And I felt for Gravenberch a little bit today because he was so often isolated defensively, and it's not even his strong suit to begin with.
Yeah.
And when you pair him with Klaassen, it was just very, very difficult. And then we talk about his ability on the ball, and that's where obviously he struggled even more. Klaassen is very, very good in the penalty box. He's a good goal scorer. He's very clever with his movement and his off the ball runs. He can link the play and make little flicks and little, 1-2s with the attacking players. But in terms of building up from the midfield, receiving in, sort of tight areas with defenders around him, that's not what he's good at. And we saw that again today. And I really didn't see basically a single positive from his performance today. And I kind of gave him a 3 just for fun. Realistically, more like a, 4.5, 5. But he really was just not very good, and ridiculous that he played the full 90 minutes, in my opinion. I think if other players have similar type performances, Kudus, Darami, Anthony, Neres, Shures, a lot of these other types of players, I think Ten Hag is pulling them off at halftime. But because it's Klaassen, he's got that aura about him, he has that stature, we kept him on. So hopefully that's the last time we see him in that position. As a 10, by all means. I don't love him there regardless, but he can be very, very effective, as he's shown numerous times before. And then with Gravenberch, again, a little bit sloppy on the ball. I think he gets criticized a little too harshly in the past 3-4 weeks or so, because the thing I always appreciate about Gravenberch, similar to the point you made about Darami, is that he does try. He tries to, make dribbles through the midfield, and he tries to make some, more adventurous passes. Does he need to clean it up? Absolutely. Was he very good today? Not really. But I don't think there's any reason to worry too much about Gravenberch. I think you just have to kind of play him out of these little ruts in form and hope that with Alvarez next to him instead of Klaassen, that it will be better. So with Gravenberch, not his best. I wish that Kudus was healthy so he could, play over Gravenberch a couple times in the league, just to sort of show Gravenberch like, hey, you're the starter, but your position isn't totally secured. Like, you have to play a little bit better than you are right now. But obviously that's not the case. So I think Gravenberch, he's played a lot of minutes. We play him in virtually all of these games. He's a young guy still. You forget how young he is, given he's played with us basically as a starter for the past 3 seasons. So I think he'll be okay. I'm not too concerned about him. But as we get into higher level matches, some of those little mistakes need to be cleaned up. So hopefully he can do that, but not too concerned.
All right. I want to finish off just by asking you, do you want to praise our top goal scorer or not?
Hey, man, I think I've got to come full circle on Haller here, because, look, he's getting the job done. And for whatever reason, the ball finds him. I mean, that second goal today, I let out a laugh when it went in. I was like, oh my God, that's hilarious again. Like somehow the ball is just finding him at these moments and it's helping us win games. And I can't criticize it at this point. It is what it is. We know what he's going to give us. He had a few plays today when the ball comes into his feet and it just bounces right off of him and it goes right to another defender. And you're just like, oh my God.
What about that chance that he got the ball and he actually controlled it very well, but he hit it over. That was
that was great. That was a great play. That was a great play. In the box, he's been quite good. I mean, obviously my big concern is the stuff outside of the box.
Yeah.
And will that still translate when we're playing against better teams and we need someone who can actually link the play a little bit better? We shall see. But at this point, man, Sebastian Haller, I'm not tweeting anything negative about him until the second half of the season. I'm done at this point. I've given up. It's fine. At this point, I'm hoping that he wins the Champions League top scorer. He's now, I think, tied with Lewandowski with 9. So keep scoring. Let's play him in the next game. Let's get him a hat trick. Let's do it. Come on, Haller.